What's up, you guys? It's Alex here. Today I'm going to be talking about how you can start picking stocks to begin investing in and how you can go about researching before you decide to pull the trigger. Stock research can help you evaluate a company and decide whether it's worth adding to your portfolio. An easy way to understand stock research is by thinking of it as if you were shopping for a new car. Ask me how they correlate. When buying a car, you can solely base your decision on technical specs, but it's also really important to consider how the ride feels, the manufacturer's reputation, and if the color of the interior is going to blend well with the coffee stains that you create on your way to work. Investors have a name for that type of research, and it's called fundamental analysis. Fundamental analysis is composed of looking at a range of factors like a company's financials, its leadership team, and their competition, to evaluate a stock and to decide whether it deserves a parking spot in your portfolio. This topic can kind of get a little bit confusing and turn into some gibberish, so I'm going to try my very best to keep it simple. To begin with, you'll need to start by reviewing a company's financials, also known as quantitative research. Qualitative analysis is the general term describing the non-mathematical scrutiny used by investors and business managers to make sound investment and business decisions. Qualitative analysis is not an easy skill to master, but requires years of business experience and history to build a wealth of knowledge about how businesses operate. And you got to keep in mind that investors who have this knowledge have a big edge over investors who rely solely on qualitative analysis. Savvy investors like Warren Buffett are often quoted saying that they invest more in people than they do in a company. And what they mean by this is that using subjective assessment about the integrity, trustworthiness, and business skill set of a company's management is the best way to judge whether or not the company is a good fit in your portfolio as an investment. This is one example of qualitative analysis, but it's more than just assessing a company's management. It is also observing the company's employees to rate their enthusiasm about what they do, asking the company's vendors what it's like to do business with them, and noticing whether the public views them favorably or not. Most investors use qualitative analysis in conjunction with more traditional quantitative analysis, and this is because qualitative analysis often serves as a great gut check on the numbers generated by quantitative analysis. The first form that you can consider looking at is Form 10-K. This form includes key financial details that have been independently audited, and this is also where you can review a company's balance sheets, which shows how the company handles its cash, revenue, and expenses. The other form that you can take a look at is called Form 10-Q, which is a quarterly update on operations and financial results. On these financial reports, there's tons and tons of numbers that can easily get you lost and confused, so to make the process a bit simpler and faster, you'll need to pay attention to the following line numbers that I'm about to explain. And the first one is going to be revenue. Revenue is the amount of money that a company has brought in during a specified period of time. Net income is the total amount of money a company has made after all expenses are subtracted from the revenue. Following that, we have earnings per share. You can get this figure by dividing the earnings by the number of shares available for trade. This number shows a company's profitability on a per share basis, which makes it easier to compare with other companies. And next, we have the price-earnings ratio. This number shows a company's profitability on a per-share basis, which makes it easier to compare with other companies. And lastly, we have a return on assets, which is the same exact concept, but instead shows what percentage of its profits the company generates with each dollar of its assets. While quantitative research reveals the black and white financials of a company's story, qualitative research provides details that gives you a truer picture of a company's operations and its prospects. Before buying a stock that you have your eyes on, you should ask yourself a few of these questions, and some of them are going to look like, how does this company make money? Does this company have a competition advantage? How good is the management team? Because a company will only ever be as good as its leadership. A really cool thing about stocks is that it's in a sense very similar to real estate, where you buy a property that's undervalued, you pay some money to fix it up with some renovations, and now it'll be worth more. And when you sell it, it's the difference between the two that is called the wedge deal. So that same exact principle exists in the stock market, and that's exactly what you want to take advantage of. What I specifically mean by this is that we're going to take a look at both the qualitative and the quantitative analysis and say, The price is really undervalued. If you buy the stock at the current moment, you might not necessarily be able to make money right away. However, you'll know that you can't lose much more money on the value of the stock based on the price that you purchased it at. And the difference between the two is that when reality catches up with the stock price, that's when we can make a little bit of money, and that is the little wedge deal that exists in the stock market as well. In other words, the price to risk ratio is going to be much more in your favor, which will ultimately give you the comfort of holding onto that stock without seeing the price sink far below what you purchased it for. Smart stock pickers have these three things in common. They have decided in advance what they want to do with their portfolios and what they want to achieve, and that's what helps them stay determined to stick with it. The second thing is going to be that they stay aware of the daily news, trends, and events that drive the economy and every company in it. And the third thing is going to be that they use goals and knowledge to inform the decisions they want to make to buy or sell their stock. The next stage in the stock picking process involves identifying companies, and there are three simple ways that you can go about this. Find the exchange traded funds which track the performance of the industry that interests you most, and check out the stocks that they're investing in to see if it's something that draws your attention and something that you enjoy researching. The next thing is, this is the easiest part, as simple as searching for industry times ETF. The official ETF page will disclose the fund's top holdings. You can use a screener to filter stocks based on specific criteria such as the sector and the industry, and screeners typically offer users additional features such as the ability to sort companies based on market cap, dividend yields, and other useful investment metrics. There are a multitude of different resources that you can use throughout the web, and some personal ones that I can recommend would be searching for the blogosphere, stock analysis articles, financial news releases for news and commentary on companies in the investment space you've targeted. Remember, be critical of everything you read and analyze both sides of the argument so that you're not biased at the end of your decision. These methods are by no way the only means to start by picking out some companies, but they do offer an easy starting point, and there are some clear advantages and disadvantages associated with each of these strategies that investors should consider. At the end of your research process, you may be left with a single investment prospect or a list of 10 or more companies, or you may have decided that this industry is not right for you, and you got to keep in mind that that's perfectly fine. All of that research may have stopped you from making a bad investment. Knowing when to say no is an essential aspect of the art of picking stocks. Alrighty guys, well I hope these methods were able to shine some light on questions you might have had when thinking about purchasing some stocks, and I hope that you guys were able to take something out of it before going ahead and putting your money into a stock that you may not know much about or know how to do the research behind. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and we'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Peace.